So let's talk about the imbalance. What is it actually? Well, to make it very simple, you would say an imbalance is if the price moves only in one direction. And why is this? You know, for example, you have a point of interest or an order block. The price moves away from this order block only in one direction. And this would actually describe on a very high level an imbalance. Now, you can see this by this price moving away, you have areas which are balanced, like this one. And why are they balanced? Because for all the buys, you also have sells. This is what you can see here. In this area, you had buys, which are balanced by sells. So you consider this area as balanced, and it's the same for this. Starting from here, the buys are covered with sells. So you consider this one balanced. So you would also see the kind of consolidation zones and so on is balanced. But what is now imbalance? It's actually what's left. Sorry, what's left is the zones which only moved in one direction, which is this one. From here to here, until you had this new low, there's an imbalance. You only have buys. Same for here. From here to here, until this low, you only have the price moving in one direction. That's an imbalance. And the third imbalance here. And those imbalances are very strong because the price or market makers tend to move the price back to this imbalanced zones in order to kind of mitigate. We will talk about this as well later on, but to have a balanced, to have a balanced price action, to say it that way. In order to buy something, you have to have somebody who sells something. And if you buy, there is somebody on the other side who sells to you. Otherwise, you would not be able to buy it. It's the same thing as if you go to the shop. In order that you can buy anything there, they have to sell you something. And it's the same here, and vice versa. In order that you can sell again something, you have to find somebody who buys it from you. And that's what's happening here. And if there is only buys but no sells, then there is some kinds of imbalance. And sometimes when the market makers move the price away from a zone only in one direction, they make a big loss. And in order to mitigate the loss, they just have to come back and balance out again, just to drive the price higher. But there's really not much prosa, I know this, but that's because if you Google imbalance, you can read a lot about it. It's a very interesting topic. It's a strong topic. And again, you can cover only one session alone with imbalance. And now we have a chart example here. Now we have a chart example here from where you can see an imbalance where the candle, the price, at least on this time frame, only moved in one direction, which is a clear imbalance. And then a balanced state where the price had to come back and it balanced the price to the pip. So that for this price action, it was fine to just move up. It did not, this price, unfortunately, from space point of view, I didn't cover the further price action, but the price did not come back to this order block. It also did not come back to this order block. It just mitigated the imbalance and then moved up again. And anyways, you could see here that the order block was mitigated already and this order block was mitigated already. It does not mean that it cannot be revisited again. That's not the case. It just says that this one would not be considered fresh. This one would not be considered fresh anymore, and hence it's not as strong as a fresh one. But also for this one, we will have more example later on. And depending again, like with the BOSS and the BMS, where you're coming from, the imbalance is also called a fair value gap, because this is a gap in price which is not considered a fair price anymore, because the price only moved in this one direction. And once it comes back to reclaim all the orders, it's considered a fair value, and then it can move up again. I'm pretty sure you already saw this from Kyle's explanations and examples, which are very, very good. And you will see them more often, and I hope it starts to make a little bit more sense now. If somebody says, here is an imbalance, have a look at it, and you know what's meant with an imbalance.